And there's Mrs. Pat in the back.
We try to get people.
All set? All right, everybody, welcome to the June 4th, 2018 Board of Selectmen's meeting. Please join me in the opening pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. So our first order of business tonight is to do our annual reorganization of the board. Before I accept a nomination, I thought it would be good just to outline our accomplishments for the last year. Myself, it's been an honor serving as the chair. I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed working with my colleagues, and I feel that we got a lot done.
Are you going to give yourself?
Sounds like you're leaving. I mean, God.
No, I'm not. Well, you know something, I am here for another 3, but,
You're going to give yourself a
so last year, Mr. Schofield gave himself
myself
grades.
grades. There you go.
I won't give myself grades, but what we did have is we had 7 primary goals, or I had 7 primary goals that I was interested in. One was, excuse me, completing the restructuring of the public safety. You know, we worked really hard. We appointed Chief Kersey, obviously. He's doing a great job. We've been working hard on determining what we want to do with the fire department. Worked hard on trying to find a new police chief, a new fire chief, and are still continuing working through which direction we're going in that. So, although it's gone somewhat slow, we've done a tremendous amount of work on that, and we will obviously continue to do that. Excuse me. We started the construction of our new police station. Obviously, we wanted to get going on that. Thrilled that we do have a strong building committee now, and they're working hard to give our community a first-class police station, so we're excited about that. We needed to identify our position on retail marijuana, so we took first steps, and we moved forward with the moratorium. And there still needs to be more work within the community, which we'll be sorting out continuing to sort out over the next few months. So we're moving forward with that. We did have one goal on here to continue working closely with our police and fire chief, as well as the schools, on our own ongoing opioid crisis. Fortunately, in talking with the chief, Mendon hasn't been really hit really hard with the opioid crisis, but it affects every community. Fortunately, the chief is working hard on that, working on strategies and talking to the superintendent on that. So we're staying involved with that. We had a goal to appoint an economic development committee, which we did, and our economic development committee is working hard on strategies that will bring more revenue into our community. So
That's the one I got the F on.
you got the F on. I'll take the A on that, since we got it done. Actually, all of us are. This is all collaboration here. It's not just one, but this is goals that we had. So. We had a number of vacancies on a lot of our committees and boards. I'm happy to see that people are stepping up and helping our community move forward on these in these seats that are open. So we've made ground on that, and I'm thrilled about that. And we wanted to rekindle our master planning committee, which we've already started doing on that. So the good news is that although all these goals, we haven't checked off every single box, we have, worked hard on moving forward with all these goals, and I'm happy that every one that I identified at the beginning of the year is important to me, is being worked on. So I'm thrilled about that. Going forward, I think that, obviously I'm thrilled to be here for another 3 years and help move the community forward. I think that things I'd like to see within my tenure over the next 3 years and within the next year is obviously completing our police station, our new police station. We obviously need to finalize what's going on with our public safety. Obviously, strong management oversight of the fire department is a priority of this board, and it will continue to be until we complete that. Obviously, continue with our financial strategies. We've worked really, really hard to give tax burden relief to the citizens of Mendon. We did really good by not taxing up to the levy limit on FY16 and FY17, and we were able to keep the taxes flat in FY18, all while doing a significant debt exclusion on the police station. So very proud of that. That didn't go easy. A lot of hard work, not only by the Finance Committee, but also this board and Ms. Newman, our town administrator. So I'm thrilled about that. We need to have a strong focus on our roads infrastructure. This is something this board's talked about. We've talked to our highway surveyor about it many times. We've had consultants come in and grade our road systems, and it was noted pretty significantly that we need to make a significant capital investment into our roads infrastructure, and if we don't, it's just going to end up costing us more down the road. So we got to stop kicking the can and really start employing strategies to work on our roads. And the last piece that I'd love to see us continue on moving forward, and I'm sure we will, is working closely with our Economic Development Committee. It's been this goal of this board to, do a shift from residential to commercial revenues, tax revenues from 88%, 12% to a targeted goal of 75, 25, and hopefully within the near future do at least a 5% shift. So we've had a lot on our plates. What I could say, what I've learned in the last year as my first term as being chairman is a lot happens in this community. And you'd be surprised at the amount of work that comes in front of this board, just even on a normal daily basis. And Mark's been through it once before, and I'm sure he's going to do a fantastic job this next year. So with that being said...
How do you know I'm going to nominate him?
Well, okay, well, you can nominate whoever you want, but I'm glad to hand the reins
I
over.
nominate Laura to...
So with that being said, I'll take a motion.
I make a motion to appoint Mr. Mark W. Reel Jr. as our chairman for the upcoming financial year.
And I'll step down and second that as my last official role as chairman. So any further discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Congratulations,
Thank
Mark.
you. Oh, the gavel
There you
passed.
go, buddy. There you go.
Hopefully I'll never need that. Yeah, I just want to, it's really an honor to serve on this board in the community, and especially as chairman, because you get to really guide the agenda and kind of make a bigger difference as you have that ability. But I think there's three things I want to focus on, and some of them overlap with what Chairman Burke, not chairman anymore, Selectman Burke said. One of them is communications between our departments in town government. I think that's something we always talk about, and sometimes we make headway and then we go in reverse. So we need to focus on that, as well as between the town government and the residents. I think communication needs to improve. Finding a solution to improve fire and EMS services, that's something we've been working on, and that hopefully within the next year we can come to that solution. And economic development, which we've been working on pretty much as long as I've been here, which is it's over 5 years now. So, but I think we made some good progress with having an economic development committee. And so those are my three areas that I'd like to focus on.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to recommend that we maybe get a little more involved with economic development. I think we could be moving ahead a little faster.
I agree.
And
That's
I'd
why
like
I
to see us
put
do
it on
that.
the top of my list.
Great minds think alike.
All right, so let's move on to citizen statements and petitions. Do we have any? Amy? Yeah, if you want to come to the microphone.
I'm here on the agenda later, but citizens petition that I'm sure you'll be pleased to hear this. This weekend, we're going to be honoring Mendon's eldest resident, Ms. Georgia Dean Young. It happens to be her birthday this month, and she is our oldest resident. She'll be, forgive me, Georgia, she'll be 99. and she's amazing. She's has a dance recital that she's putting on this weekend, so she will be receiving the cane from the Council on Aging and the Friends of Mendon Elders. So that's this Sunday, June 10th, at 3 o'clock, Bellingham High School.
Does that still involve the cane?
Yes, yes. It's not the original Boston Post cane. That's been lost by many towns, including Mendon. But we have a replica that the Friends created probably 20 years ago, maybe. And so that goes from senior to senior. And the last senior that proudly held it for probably 2 years, Grace Lovely, had it in her nursing home room on the wall, proudly mounted on the wall. But it does come back to us.
So the very same cane?
The very same cane, yes. Yes.
Very good.
So, that's good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Citations for Eagle Scouts?
Okay. Thank you for letting me read these, Mr.
Or
Chairman.
we have a motion, so
Oh, okay,
who's
you
going
want to
to
do
do
that?
that now?
Oh, you get to read the motion.
Is it my turn now?
It's your turn.
Yeah.
I
it
get the
is.
second.
All right, so I move to award Eagle Scout citations to Boy Scouts Zachary A. Rivenider, Patrick W. Kennedy, Dylan J. Elliott, and John Giacomuzzi.
And I'll second that.
Discussion.
That's your cue.
Oh, that's my cue, okay. I asked Mr. Reel if I could read this because my involvement in Scouts for a long, long time, I dealt with a lot of the kids. I was the committee chairman there for a while, and this is actually the last group of kids that I'll know that are going to Eagles. So I'm very excited, number one, about being able to read this, and number two, about going to the Court of Honor and be able to present the citations to them in person. And I have a particularly special relationship with Dylan Elliott, who I worked on his Eagles project out front here. So, whereas in this area, let me try again. Whereas in this era, when traditional precepts of faith and morality appear seriously threatened, it is refreshing to find wholesome young American men who support and respect our sacred institutions. And whereas the Boy Scouts of America instills teamwork and leadership qualities in young men, further promoting the development of strong character, good citizenship, and long-lasting friendship. Whereas the Boy Scouts of America have made a vital contributions to the youth of Mendon through training in the art of living in the great outdoors and while building self-reliance. And whereas Scout Zachary A. Rivenider earned the minimum of 13 required and 32 other merit badges and served in his troop in a variety of leadership roles, Zachary has completed his Eagle Scout Leadership Service Project by leading a group of scouts and adults to build a storage shed at the Mendon Senior Center. Whereas Scout Patrick W. Kennedy earned the minimum of 13 required and 28 other merit badges and served in various troop leadership roles, Patrick has completed his Eagle Scout Leadership Service Project by leading a group of scouts and adults to build a trail station for the Mendon Town Forest. And whereas Scout Dylan J. Elliott earned the minimum of 13 required and 16 other merit badges and served his troop in a variety of leadership roles, Dylan has completed his Eagle Scout Leadership Service Project by leading a group of scouts and adults to replace the steps at the town hall. Whereas Scout John Giacomuzzi earned the minimum of 13 required and 22 other merit badges and served his troop in a variety of leadership roles. John completed his Eagle Scout Leadership Project by leading a group of scouts and adults to build a storage shed for the Mendon Recreation Department. Now, therefore, we, the Board of Selectmen of the Town of Mendon, Massachusetts, do hereby, on this date, June 4th, award this citation to Zachary A. Rivenider, Patrick W. Kennedy, Dylan J. Elliott, and have completed all the requirements to earn the Scouting's highest rank under the outstanding leadership and direction of Scoutmasters and other adult leaders of Troop 1 Mendon. We have 2 troops here in Mendon. And Scout John Giacomuzzi has completed all the requirements required to earn Scouting's highest rank under the outstanding leadership and direction of Scoutmasters and other adult leaders of Troop 314, Milford, Massachusetts.
Very good. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Correspondence to the board, junk dealer's license.
I move to grant the junk dealer's license to Mr. David Lowell for Main Street pending positive routing slips.
Second.
Discussion?
That's, Fort Main, so
recurring.
that's the Amadon Inn, right? The old Amadon, yeah, okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Brothers of the Brush, request for monument placement. You guys want to come up here? Just
Don't
gonna
be
send
bashful.
one,
Yeah, lucky one.
all alone.
There's, just a little bit of paperwork.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
You know how you feel about that? All right.
So as a member of the Brothers of the Brush, I don't know if you guys know that it was founded back in 1967, and we celebrated 50 years last year, and we wanted to do something back to the community to show our appreciation to the community and the thanks for all the people that help us and stuff like that. And we went back and forth as what to do for the community and without generating another project, I guess you say, or maintenance to anybody. And then we came upon adopting a site, and we proposed to take on the site at Emerson and Hastings and put up a little monument with the Brothers logo, the town seal, and the American flag with the writing underneath there that you see. Dedicated to the veterans, and thanks to them. So the island would be completely taken over with the monument in the middle, with some stone around the outside of the monument, and then synthetic grass around the outside of that. So there would be no maintenance as far as the towns are involved or anything like that. And we may put flowers in there at different times of the year to dress it up a little bit.
So you leave a cutout somewhere in the synthetic area that allows the planting, is that it?
No, we would do flower pots
Oh, okay, I
on
see.
top, and then that way there we can change them out and stuff like that.
What's the height of the monument?
I think we've had about 4 feet, approximately 4 feet is gonna be above the ground.
And the location of it, where you show on the island of, excuse me, Emerson and Route 16.
Yes.
Chief, any comments on, or Alan, any comments on traffic flow and being able to see around the monument coming out of that intersection or anything like that? Chief, you want to comment on that?
I haven't seen the plans yet. I mean, you just forwarded them to me. I can take a look at them before they put it up.
You want to look real quick?
The stone would be probably approximately about 10 feet back from the curbing of the Route 16.
So it looks like they're putting it right on the island, it's going to be 4 feet high. So is it it looks like in the drawing, it's like a triangle, is that what it is?
Yes, it's gonna be a triangle, three-sided to match the triangle of the island there.
Okay, okay.
Oh, I misunderstood then. I
so
thought it was a wing.
that's like,
No,
I thought it was winged, but
That's
it's
just-
an actual triangle.
yes.
Gotcha. So then, but it must be a triangle that slopes in the back, right, because the way that's drawn?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
That way there, the water will run off, it won't hold any water. And that town seal, that's basically just this is all etched in stone. Naturally, some of the stuff, like the canoe, that's gonna be hand-painted in there. So that's why it's not on this here. There will be some touch-up by hand to make the town seal look better than what's on that proposed thing there.
While the chief's looking at that, for anybody that's here or maybe listening at home, Brothers of the Brush is a kind of a relatively common thing that's done in a lot of communities to celebrate certain anniversary dates. Usually they're disbanded after the anniversary goes by. But in our case, the group has stayed together and has been a charitable organization doing great things, including scholarships and all kinds of other charitable works, holding steak feeds and raising all kinds of money for all kinds of things. So I just wanted to mention that as an appreciation thing.
100% of the money stays right here in the community.
Correct.
So,
It doesn't look too bad. I'd say, maybe if we go out there and just spray it, put like a cardboard box the size of it out there, just so we maybe have a car pull out and make sure there's no line of sight issues or anything like that. Just, it doesn't look like there will be, but
Yeah,
before you
because
go
of the
in-
angle of the
Before
way
you go
those-
and mount it and pay all that money, let's just make sure,
Yep.
with like a cardboard cutout of it or something like that. We'll have a couple cruisers go up and look back and forth, make sure line of sight's good. I know they're expensive to move afterwards, so we had to do that once.
So, Mr. Clifton, did we confirm, remember I asked you, did we confirm that the town seal will have more detail than in this drawing?
Yes, that's what I was just explaining, yes.
Okay, good.
Yep. Yeah, some they won't have, like, I guess they blew up the seal and there's some stitching on the canoe and stuff like that. Naturally, that won't be in there, but the canoe will be on there and some other stuff.
Yeah, no, just something in between this.
Yes.
Just this full detail would be
Yeah.
nice, yeah.
Some
That'll
random
be
guys.
basically what's etched into the stone. The other stuff will be all hand.
All we got
done.
here is an Indian standing out in
Yeah.
the middle of nowhere.
It's not gonna be that exact Indian, is it?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, because that one's doesn't even look like ours.
Well, I was
Like
gonna
he's
say,
looking
we're
away,
using
ours
that
looks
file.
forward.
No, you
Have
use
that
the new-
file?
They have the new one.
The new
Okay,
one,
good.
yeah.
Yes.
Good.
I think the Indian actually is facing,
Yeah, he faces towards the seal.
yeah,
This guy looks like he's looking away.
yes.
I mean, me personally, I'm not opposed to this. I think it's great. I think that Brothers of the Brush have done a fantastic job for our community for a number of years. How many years, Alan? 50 years now?
51.
Yeah,
51st,
yeah, 51st. I mean, pretty impressive and great organization within the community. It's, basically a staple of our community. So I'm not opposed to the monument, just obviously concerned about lines of sight and
Yeah. that's
and
what we
height
do
and everything like
replacement.
that, so I'd like to hold the vote until, or we can vote if it's, I'm just concerned that if you determine that it's too high and we just voted yes, then,
Unless you do the vote, just pending, the sign off from the police department and the highway department. Alan and I will both go out there together and, like we said, put a cardboard cutout or something and make sure.
how do you want to handle it, Mr. Chairman?
I'm fine with pending review of public safety.
Yeah. Do like a routing slip type of thing.
That way, it's just move it off the agenda, 'cause
Okay. There you go.
we'll accept the motion.
I'd like to also make it pending the brothers dig up the old shave kit over here somewhere.
One buried underneath there. And one buried underneath the
You
monument.
know the story about that? Yeah. Okay, so then I will move to allow the Brothers of the Brush to place a monument at the island at Route 16 and Emerson Street pending public safety review and agreement.
Second.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
We'll
you.
get together.
Thank you.
Okay. We have appointments for 2 police officer positions.
Seconded that, right?
Yeah, I did.
We have a new height requirement. You need at least 6 feet to work here. 7 if you look next to me.
There you go.
Your hair's a little long.
All right, so coming in before you tonight for 2 appointments. One is Tyler, Officer PB, is going to Franklin. I've already got his letter and I forwarded it to Laura earlier today, I think, or we'll get it to you. Andrea's going to forward it, so he's leaving as of the 18th.
18th of this month.
18th of this month, and we have the 14th officer that was approved for the school resource officer to start in July. I think we had talked about this, I have the extra funding in salary and wages, figure we get a jump start on that one, so we get the training out of the way, and we can go rolling in September once the school resource officer gets on full-time. So these are the 2 candidates, we did a vetted search, posted it through the channels that we use, the papers, Facebook, and law enforcement network called CGIS. We did a interview process, and myself and the 2 sergeants, and then I had the town administrator go over all everything that we did for the interviews. 2 candidates before you, the top 2 candidates, both did very well through the process. And since then, we have done complete backgrounds, medicals, psychologicals, and everything's done. They're ready to start on the road as soon as we appoint them. First appointment would be Gregory Palmer. He has the most experience. We'd make him senior. This is Greg. Greg lives locally in Douglas, graduated from BVT. He used to dispatch for us back in 2009, 2010. Then he went to the academy, self-sponsored himself back then, and became a full-time police officer in Hopedale and has been there since. Comes to us with full academy training. His FTO program will be very short, probably 4 weeks. He already knows the area, he knows the streets because he worked for us and he works next door. I think he'll integrate into the department great, great character. I think he's going to be a great fit for the town. He has a lot of extra training, like rad training, so we can already get him involved with some community programs.
I'm sorry, I don't know what RAD is.
I'll explain what rad is.
I'm a certified rape aggression defense instructor. Basically, it's to teach women how to defend themselves. God forbid they find themselves in a situation where they're being attacked.
Okay.
Yeah, good program. We used to run it a long time ago with Ms. Cataldo. She actually did it for the police department, so we did it for probably a good decade, and then we just haven't had anybody certified to do it, so it'd be nice to start that program up again, and
Okay.
and Hopedale actually said they'd like to join with us since he's leaving from there, and they have no one else to do it, so might be a good opportunity to form some bonds there with Hopedale. They're not mad at us for taking Greg or anything, so we're good. And then next we have Joshua Smith to appoint next. He also lives locally. Lives in Worcester now, but grew up in Uxbridge, graduated again from BVT, just like Greg did. He was a self-sponsor, both of them worked at the Randolph Academy. He graduated about 2 years ago, currently works for the University of Massachusetts Police Department since January of 2011, 17. He's a little bit greener than Greg, so he'll be on a 12-week program, full FTO program, go through the system, and then he'll be ready to roll too. I don't know if you guys have any questions for me or either of these guys.
I'm very confident that you've been very selective, so,
Thank you.
Okay, should I make the motions?
please.
Okay, I move to appoint Gregory Palmer to the position of police officer, step 2 pay rate and start date of June 11th, 2018.
Second.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I move to appoint Joshua Smith to the position of police officer, step 1 pay rate and start date of June 11th, 2018.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Great, guys. Now, thrilled to have you guys here.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You doing a photo?
Yeah, let's do a quick photo.
As always.
Let's do a quick photo. Put it on Facebook. I know you love Facebook.
What's Facebook?
I want to put Josh there in the middle.
Are you sure? We can stand behind him.
Can I step on the stage or something?
No, we get you in the middle.
Why don't you get both you guys in the middle? There you go.
Where do you want the
You are tall. 6'4"?
6'7".
6'7". Are we fitting in?
Yes. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Great. Thank you.
One over here, this one?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Obviously, he ate his vegetables when he was young.
6'7".
No problem.
Feel bad for the guy who dangles a thumb.
Right.
He looks like a gentle soul, doesn't he?
We have a consider appointment of Wayne Phipps to Senior Center van driver.
I move to appoint Wayne Phipps to the position of senior center van driver, M7 pay grade, at the rate of $16.56 per hour, 6 to 18 hours per week.
Second.
Discussion. Amy, do you want to just come up, or both of you? Yeah, come on up.
Giving up the sleigh for a bus, huh?
Do we get our pictures taken?
You can if you like.
I'd like to say, before you consider this appointment, I'd like to say thank you very much to Bob Gebeline, who recently had stepped down and has retired from our department after 12 years. We were so fortunate to have him. I was when I first came here 10 years ago, that he knew everything about the center, the van, and So, it's going to be tough shoes to fill, but I think Wayne, knowing his history, working with people, working with kids, he's worked for the school system for, what do you say,
37.
37 years in Nipmuc school system, among other things. I think we're very fortunate to have him available at this time, so it's Imperial's loss. But anyway, yes, so I just wanted to say thank you to Bob Gebline, too, prior to this issue.
I assume you know a lot of the people, too, you'd be cutting around, too, right? I mean, you know most of the seniors, right?
Right.
And his father drove the van before.
Oh, no
Before
kidding.
Bob
No kidding.
Gebline, Clarence Phipps, so
Ah,
it's wonderful.
Family business.
Yes, yes.
My dad was selectman in town. He was town clerk, and drove the van.
Wow, let's go deep.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
All right.
Wow. I think it's great.
Aye.
Oh, well,
Wonderful.
welcome.
Thank you.
I might have to jump on board and take a ride.
No pictures, though?
Michelle, to grab you a picture.
All right. Consider exercising right of first refusal for Chapter 61A, King Philip Path.
So I guess we gotta wait to take a motion on this one, because I don't know where.
I don't think we do. I think we can act on it.
Well, I have no idea what my opinion is.
Okay.
I'm not even, to be honest with you, I don't have any information on this.
Well, usually you don't want to buy any land, so.
I know I usually don't, but I don't.
All of a sudden, now you want more
That's not
information?
what I'm saying. I am not saying that. I just don't like to make decisions without information.
What are you looking to?
Okay, so I don't recall even having discussed or considered this. So where?
Isn't there a
It's a King Philip Path, I see that.
There's
Who
two.
owns it now? There's two
That's
pieces?
Varney.
Oh, it's,
They're both
okay, all
from
right, now I
Varney.
know, okay.
One is King Philip Path and one is Providence Road.
Okay, so there's something in here on that, right?
The
Yes,
Land Use
10 and
Committee recommends that we do not exercise the right of first
Okay,
refusal.
I'm done
And they
now.
are both bona fide offers.
Okay,
They were-
okay, but land use is saying.
That's right.
Okay, fine.
That's right.
That's all I need to know. Okay. I move not to exercise the option to purchase the property located at the rear section of Lot 1B, King Philip Path under Chapter 61A.
Second.
Further discussion, all in favor? Aye.
Okay, is the second one?
Yes.
I got it, okay. I move to not exercise the option to purchase the property located at Lot A, Providence Road under Chapter 61A.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, discuss FY19 road work. Mr. Tatro. You have to sign something?
Do I need to be filling this out, or you doing it? Okay, all right.
You don't need to.
Good evening. We have, I get 3 project requests there for you to sign, which would be Asylum Street, Maury Street, and Park Street, to expend some of the FY18 budget, the balance, some of the balance. And that would be the first page that I gave you there. If you see the FY18 balance is 204,000, and then if you take them 3 streets, add them up, it comes to 185, you leave your balance of 18,600.
Do you have it? I don't have it. That's this one right here. You don't have that? That's this right here, right?
Alan, you moved to number 13, but that's okay.
Oh, wait a minute.
What's that?
You went to chapter 90. I know it's part of your
Oh,
road
okay.
discussion, but there were 2 separate ones.
Go ahead.
Okay. So then, if you take, then if you look down a little bit further, you add the FY19 apportionment to the balance from FY18, we end up with 291,644. So then if you turn the page and go to the next page, you'll see a list of streets, that need work. So what I wanted to do was get these 3 done in the FY18, and then see how close I am. I mean, I should be really close with these numbers right here. but I would really like to get it right to the penny, and then I will figure out which streets we want to do next out of this list here. So if you start right up at Park Street, that would be the remaining portion, because of them 3 streets that we're doing are just a portion of them. And so there'll be the portion of Park Street left and a portion of Asylum Street left, and that's what it would cost to do them. Then if you move down to North Avenue, that portion of that road would be from SD Road to the town line. It's 6,500 feet. So what I did is I figured everything all out in yards. So if you go to the last page, that's a scenario of different types of road treatment with FY18 pricing. We are currently out to bid and gonna be getting bids in pretty quick for the FY19 portion of the Chapter 90 money. So I just wanted to show you that this is the FY18 pricing. So pricing is subject to change.
So, just a quick question.
Yep.
Can we assume that the list of paving or treatment options here
Yeah.
is in order of preference?
No.
Okay, so, because it's not quite in order of cost, because a couple of them are out of order, so I just wondering what the, so it's just random?
just put a list together.
It's just a random list?
Just a
Okay, fine.
random
All right,
list.
okay.
But one of the things I wanted to show you also was Blackstone Street, which is in dire need of work. So that road right there is 13,435 feet long by 23 feet wide, with a total of 34,333 yards, basically.
Is that the whole street or
That's
just
the
the
whole
part?
street. That's from Wesley to the town line. Because from, that's still Main Street there. From Main Street to Wesley is not bad. That portion of the road is not bad at all.
That's right, yeah.
So what I did is if you take the whole remaining distance and were to do a shim and an overlay, you're looking at almost $400,000 to just do that portion. So what I did is I broke it down into, to say if you wanted to do 3,000-foot sections, comes out to 26,000. So then I wanted to, then I got a couple of other streets here that are, could use a little, well, all the roads could use some loving.
Right.
But I just started putting a list together for you so you could see some of the costs, you know, some of the yardages, just how big they are, because I don't think you realize, you know, how it's measured by the yard, by the foot, by whatever you're doing, you know. So, and then I had talked to Rich, I had talked to you about, you wanted a list of streets and maybe we could dip into a pool, somehow come up with some extra funds to do some work here. So I'm thinking that, you know, North Avenue is a good one, and Blackstone Street would be awesome to hit a chunk of that road there.
Right.
So I just want to make sure I understand what I'm looking at here, right? So if I understand what you're saying, this front page here is what you can do with the Chapter 90 money we already got, right?
Asylum, Maury, and Park.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And then even if you do this stuff, there's still portions of even these streets you've listed that don't get addressed by the Chapter 90 money you've got here, right? Is that right?
For FY18, correct.
Okay, so then if I flip to page 2, then what you're saying is that then to hit some other things that we could get done, this would be the additional money to do some of these other things.
Correct.
All right, so just want to ask a follow-up question on that. So on FY18, you're stating Park, And then on FY '19, the second page, you're also highlighting Park. So is it like the rest of Park? Is that
That's
what
the
it is?
rest of Park.
Okay, yeah, I just
So
want to
the
make sure.
FY '18 portion of Park Street is gonna take you from Maury Street to, I believe it's House 26, which would be just about to, oh my God, I forget the name of the road. Where Jimmy Quirk used to live there, Park
Drive?
Place.
All the
No.
way down
Not-
towards
it's-
16, or?
No, it's, no, it doesn't take you all the way. It takes you, it's, oh my God, it's 2,200 feet from Maury Street. So it takes you just, that new subdivision road, I'm sorry, I
Okay.
can't think of the name of it.
Yeah. So the other thing
So
now,
then you get 1,800 feet to go the rest of the way. And the reason why I didn't put that all together, one, there's a little bit of drainage that needs to be put in there. And then what I'm doing to this section of the road, on Park Street is just gonna be a shim and an overlay.
Which I didn't see the price on.
That, because that road right there is newer
yeah,
than
sure, I got
the remaining portion from where we leave off to Nipmuc Drive. That hasn't been paved since I've been here. I actually paved the portion of Park Street from Maury down, it's 2,200 feet.
If you were going to prioritize all these roads in FY '19, how would you prioritize them all?
Well, we should do something with North Avenue. Because the
So would I put
schools,
that as a one?
the school is, yeah, because the school is there.
Okay. I'm not trying to put you on the
That's
spot,
gonna
I'm just
eat up.
trying to get an idea, because
Right.
obviously there's a lot of money here, we're not going to be able to cover all this.
Correct.
So,
well, maybe we could just ask, I mean, I think this is a really good start here. Maybe you could just for us, have Darlene reorder this in the order of your priority, what you think the, right?
Yeah,
and then-
that's easy
And then
enough.
email
Okay.
it to us. That'd be
That's fine.
easiest, right?
Just
Yeah, that's
cut and
fine.
paste, I can do that.
I was just trying to put some time on Mark's meeting here, so.
And then obviously, we got some surface treatments going on this summer too. I gotta do some crack sealing. I have to do that.
Alan, so I noticed that in the list here, right, you're showing what kind of treatment you do to each of these pieces, right?
Yeah.
And that's how you come in. So, can I presume that that means that that's the type of treatment you think is
Suitable for-
Is it the right thing, or is it the cheapest right thing? That's what I'm trying, you know what I'm saying?
Probably the cheapest right thing to move along and get a little work done.
Yeah. Okay.
Talking, so if you look at the last page there with the pricing options, to reclaim and to put 4 inches of mix down is $18.31 a yard. It's expensive. But
And
you
that's
get-
the same thing we did to George Street over here a few years back?
We did that on Bates Street.
Okay.
That's when you grind it all up, regrade it. You get a brand-new road.
So,
Southwick, did you do that on
Southwick Street.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
did.
basically like you said, brand new.
It's a brand-new road.
Yeah.
And the reason why we did Southwick Street, just, you know, to reiterate on that project, was because the, number one, the hill, and number two, to get the proper width there so that I could put some type of monolithic berm or a berm down there to channel the water so it doesn't wash it out. The water that comes down at is incredible, and we put drainage in there to boot.
Right.
so in the roads that you identify in FY '18, you're basically saying those 3 roads are a top priority right now.
Yeah, it's gonna get us start, I mean, they're 3 of the worst roads we got going now.
All right, that's the reason, that's
ones on
what
the
I'm
front
trying to.
page.
The ones on the front page.
Yeah.
I was just trying to figure out if you were just trying to hit some low-hanging fruit, or if there was other priorities in here.
Trying to hit the roads that we're spending the most time on patching.
Okay, fair. All right.
That'll free up a little bit of time for us to do other projects.
obviously, in the best of all possible worlds, we'd find another $600,000 a year to spend on the roads and start improving things.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
But minus that, I mean, obviously, we should be treating it as an operational expense because we're gonna continually need to treat the roads, right? But right now, we just don't have that much operating money, so we gotta, I mean, even if we just threw some one-time money at it, the study said, correct me if I get this wrong, but the study basically said, once you got a good road, it's cheaper to keep that good road good than it is to mess around with a bad road. It's basically what it says. So even if we throw some one-time money at some of these roads, we'll save money on those roads over time,
Well, to do chip seals,
You're staying on.
as long as you're staying on.
to do a chip seal, to do chip seals, you're talking like under $5 a yard. And you get good durability out of that, out of a chip seal. You really do.
You said five, I didn't see anything that was that cheap
I
in this
didn't
list.
put it on here.
Is that what we did to, what did we do to George Street?
That was hot rubber, yeah. That's like $4.50.
That's chip seal?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you're saying what you did to Southwick's Asylum was better than what we did over at,
Oh, absolutely.
okay,
That's a brand-new road.
okay.
And you just can't afford to do every street like that.
Right.
You know, we did Bates Street because we put all the new drainage in there. That road never had drainage in it. That was part of the reason why it kept falling apart. You need to keep the water out of the road. That's huge. That's why some of the sections of Park Street are so bad down the other end. It's just, there was never drainage there. I stopped it before there. You know, when I did the work down there, we blasted ledge and everything.
Yep.
Same thing when I did Blackstone Street when I first got here. We blasted ledge, we did all kinds of work down there.
I mean, listen, we have a balance of Chapter 90 money. That's what the money is used for, is trying to keep our roads up and going. You know, we can't keep on, I said it earlier today, we just can't keep on kicking the can down the road. And I mean that. We really got to start investing in our roads. We are way behind. I've read that report 4 times over, and I'm going to tell you, it's a lot of money, between $600,000 and $900,000 a year. $600,000 being the minimum.
To get you in the middle, yeah.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to see, I mean, obviously, I think we have to act on the Chapter 90 requests today, right? We gotta sign those, right? But on the other things that Mr. Tatros brought forward, I would love to see,
Prioritize.
maybe, have them prioritized, and then maybe see if, he and Kimberly could do some brainstorming about, you know, maybe we could make a plan, you know, next time we get some free cash, or maybe we take a little bit out of a stabilization, or whatever it might be, some kind of creative set of ideas to at least hit a couple of these things,
Right.
to make a dent. So,
No, I agree.
You know,
I
we got
think
some
we've
of,
talked about that too, about using some sort of one-time money. We've never actually really looked into it hard enough.
I mean, we got some of our older subdivisions that need some attention.
no, now you're piling on.
It just doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta be careful of the, what do they call it, the donkey syndrome, right, where they get 2 piles of hay and he starves to death because he can't decide which one to start on, right? So, just let's stay focused on the real bad ones and get something done.
If he was that hungry, he'd eat both piles.
Yeah. You'd like to think so.
Okay.
So is there a,
Yep. There's,
must be a motion, right?
there is. Yeah, there's 3 of them.
Okay, yeah, there are 3 separate ones, so I'll do them one at a time here. So I move to approve the Chapter 90 project request in the amount of $72,000 for shim and overlay, type 1 bituminous concrete on Asylum Street, house number 2026 to Southwick Street.
Second.
Further discussion, all in favor?
Aye. I move to approve the Chapter 90 project request in the amount of $68,400 for shim and overlay, type 1 bituminous concrete on Maury Street.
Second.
Further discussion, all in favor?
Aye. I move to approve Chapter 90 project request in the amount of $45,000 for shim and overlay, type 1 bituminous concrete on Park Street from Maury Street to house number 21.
Second.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right,
Okay.
go to work.
Very good.
Thanks, Alan.
Thank
you.
you, Alan, yeah. But, Alan, by the way, this is perfect, so thank you very much for this. Yeah, it's no problem.
Okay, next topic. Discuss revisions to BOS boards and committees policy.
Somebody have a moment?
I had some comments on this specifically, you should have it in front of you, but second bullet, or the third bullet point down under appointing process.
I got it.
It says, when a letter of interest is received by any party, the letter will be immediately forwarded to the board, or to the office of the town clerk, who will notify the applicable interested town entities and the Board of Selectmen. It shouldn't involve the town clerk at that point. I think because a letter of interest, it goes to the Board of Selectmen, and then we notify the town clerk
Of the appointment.
that there was an appointment. I think I wish I saw that before, but I think it's just
So
another step in the process is not necessary.
So are you saying that,
Strike,
Should be forwarded to
strike town clerk, the office of the town clerk.
office, it should be to the office of the Board of Selectmen.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, too.
Because it really, I think there's just that,
It just convolutes the process.
yeah.
There's
It
no,
involves
there's
the
no
town
added
clerk when
benefit.
she's not
Yeah,
necessarily
there's no
needed
added
at
benefit to that
point.
until the appointment, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yep.
And that became an issue, so I think it should be taken care of. And
The attendance issue?
that was something that I thought of, that, I mean, we said that reappointments need to be in attendance, I like the idea, but at the same time, there's a lot of people, we've got to make sure that show up. Are we saying, you know what, you just have to?
I'm okay with with somebody not being in attendance on a reappointment in the case where there's nobody else to consider. But if there are people being considered, in order to be appointed in that case, I think you have to be here.
Well,
Right,
the purpose was to interview the person.
for reappointment.
No, for appointment.
Well, no, they absolutely have to be over appointment.
What,
talking-
strictly speaking, what this says is even if we're just reappointing somebody and there's no contention for the position, and we just have the one person anyway, and they've been doing it and there's no issue with them, why should they have to show up to reappoint? I think that's what we're saying, right?
Right. Just that they do need to notify us and say, yes, I am interested, but
Yeah. And Laura's really good about letting people know that, asking them whether they want to
Right.
be reappointed.
So what would be the process? I'm just trying to play the movie forward here. If you're not playing this across, if you're not doing this for everybody and you have a problem with somebody, then you're gonna request that they come in?
yeah.
Yeah, if we were having a problem with somebody.
No,
sure.
no, 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 I'm just saying, or if you just want to re-interview them.
Then,
Yeah, we can do that exception based.
Okay, I just want to make sure, well, I'm just trying to make sure that the verbiage is correct.
Yeah, I would just
So it
take
can't
out
come back.
or reappointed.
So you would change, I just want to make sure the wording's correct. That way they can't come back and bite you in the tail, that's
So
all.
we'd say, okay, so we'd actually say, to be really specific, it probably should say the candidate for consideration must be in attendance for initial appointment.
Yes.
Or reappointment.
Or in the case that multiple parties
Or
are
re-
interested in appointment.
No, I would say, or reappointment for, by the request of the Board of Selectmen. That clears it up. Otherwise, it's too ambiguous.
Okay, that actually confused me, what you just said.
What I'm saying is that,
You're saying that you think if we don't say it, then we don't have the ability to bring them in?
I would say unless otherwise requested by the Board of Selectmen.
there you go.
That would be clearer to me. Does that make sense, Laura?
That's fine.
Just trying to take the ambiguity out of the,
I understand what you're getting at, yeah.
Just need a motion to,
Oh, sorry, let's see, did we have one?
you gotta fill in the blank a little bit.
Where, did we have the starter though?
I move to amend the Board of Selectmen Boards and Committee policy as follows, as we just.
Okay, I'm gonna say, I move to amend the Board of Selectmen, boards and committee policy as noted in the meeting minutes.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yeah, I figured we should just clean that up.
Yeah, that's good. That's
Makes
fine.
sense. Okay. We have other topics not reasonably anticipated 48 hours prior to the meeting.
Call firefighter appointment, is that you?
Yes, Chief Harris, you want to come up?
I move to appoint Kevin Layberger to call firefighter at a stipend amount of $166 per month with a start date of June 5th, 2018.
Second.
Discussion.
Hey,
Chief.
I got my glasses on.
How are you?
Good, how are you today?
Well, thanks.
I had two gentlemen that wanted to be appointed to the call department. They came in, they filled out an application. I talked to Kim, she had me forward them directly to the police department. Police department did background checks and query checks. One of the gentlemen, Kevin Leahy, he's a firefighter paramedic for another community. He's moved into town and wants to participate in the town here. He's a full-time firefighter, paramedic. Looking forward to him joining the ranks and working
He's a
with us.
full-timer where?
Pepperell, Mass.
So he lives here and he's a full-timer up there?
Yeah, he just moved into town a couple months ago, evidently. And I have another gentleman named Josh Tetro. He is an EMT with an ambulance company right down the street here. And he is presently in the paramedic program. He put his application in about a year ago and so forth. He's still interested, so I asked him if he'd willing to join the call force, and he said he would. So I forwarded that also to the police department, which did a query check and a background check and so forth.
Great.
Both came out clean. We're given the okay by Donnie, the detective, and I come here to ask you folks to let me appoint them.
Absolutely.
The reason I asked for it to be done as quickly as possible, because the gentleman who's he's a medic, we have to forward his name to the medical director, Eric, our medical director here at Milford, so that he can meet with him to go through paramedic skills and so forth, to allow us to use him as a paramedic. And I'm looking to do it now, just in case of our medical director may go on vacation in July. So I'm trying to
Push it through.
beat the time frame.
Sure. Okay. Any further discussion on
I'm sorry.
that one?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's great.
I think it's awesome you're able to get a couple people.
Super.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I move to appoint Josh Tatro to the call firefighter at a stipend amount of $166 per month with a start date of June 5th, 2018.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Awesome. Thanks, Chief.
Excellent.
That's
Thank you.
fantastic.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for sticking around for that.
Executive session is passed over.
Now, who says?
The chairman,
Okay. That's,
unless you want to.
that's fine.
Oh, look at that.
Hey, it's my meeting, right?
I like that.
Absolutely.
I know you don't like them anyway, so.
Yeah, I don't. I just wanted to make sure it was one of our decisions.
Yeah. We'll accept the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Hey, you stayed to the end this time.
Kept it going for you.